1 o'clock having arrived, I'm going to call the April 8th, 2022 meeting of the House Taxes Committee to order under Rules 10.01. And for the public, if you want any of the information that we have, please go to the website, House of Representatives, then go to Committee and Divisions, go to Taxes, and on that home page off to the right-hand side, you will see all the materials that you will need to follow along today. So with that, Ms. Griska, please take the roll.
Representative Marquardt.
Marquardt present.
Representative Marquardt present. Representative Listlegard.
Representative Listlegard present.
Representative Listlegard present. Representative Davids.
David's present.
Representative Davids present. Representative Agbaje.
Present.
Representative Agbaje present. Representative Carlson.
Carlson present.
Representative Carlson present. Representative Detmer excused. Representative Garofalo. Representative Gomez. Representative Her.
Present.
Representative Her present. Representative Hertas. Representative Howard.
Present.
Representative Howard present. Representative McDonald.
McDonald present.
Representative McDonald present. Representative Miller.
Miller present.
Representative Miller present. Representative Moran. Representative Mortensen. Representative Robbins.
Present.
Representative Robbins present. Representative Sandell.
Present.
Representative Sandell present. Representative Schultz.
Schultz present.
Representative Schultz present. Representative Stevenson. Representative Swazinski.
Swazinski here.
Representative Swazinski present. Representative Joachim.
Present.
Representative Joachim present.
Gomez is present.
Gomez present. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much.
Hertas present.
Ms. Griska, and we also, Representative Hertas is also present.
Okay.
With that, we're going to move to the approval of the April 7th minutes. Representative McDonald, would you take the honors to move the approval of those minutes?
If you insist, Mr. Chair, I so moved.
Thank you very much. Representative McDonald moves approval of the April 7th, 2022 minutes of the House Taxes Committee. Any discussion, thoughts, criticisms, changes? Seeing none, I'm going to call for the vote temporarily. Please unmute yourself. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion does prevail. The April 7th, 2022 minutes of the House Taxes Committee minutes are approved. Members, we have one bill today, House File 4300. We will be taking a vote at the end to move it to Ways and Means. And so, Chair Davnie, welcome to the Taxes Committee, your former committee.
It's good to be here, Mr. Chair. I appreciate Friday afternoon with you all.
I bet you do. Thank you much. Would anyone care to move House File 4300 to be referred to the Ways and Means Committee?
So moved.
Chair Joachim moves House File 4300 be referred to the Ways and Means Committee. And Chair Joachim, we have an amendment, the A5 amendment. Would you care to move that?
Yes, I would, Mr. Chair.
Chair Joachim moves the A5 amendment. Chair Davnie, is this something that you need to talk about right now, or should we just incorporate it and you want to talk about it later?
It does balance the property tax impacts of the bill so that we end up with a net zero or at most negligible impact on property taxes in the state and on state revenues through this bill. So I appreciate Chair Joachim moving the bill and moving the amendment, Mr. Chair.
Very good. Any thoughts or questions on that? Not, we're going to call for the vote on the A5 amendment. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. The motion does prevail. The A5 amendment is adopted. Chair Davnie to House File 4300 as amended.
Well, Mr. Chair, thank you for that. The House File 4300 is a ground up approach to the current challenges and opportunities in our K-12 education system. We are looking at 3 school years of disrupted education, stressful on students, stressful on staff, stressful on families, just plain stressful. We've often said that we would invest in our schools more if we had the revenues to do it. And right now, Minnesota is well placed to make a once in a generation or more shift in our education system, largely by paying our bills, by doing what we should have been doing to begin with, which is why we make some significant investments in where the costs are for districts. The cross subsidy, special education, the deficit really, Mr. Chair, in the difference between what we require schools to provide in the way of services for students receiving special education services and what we pay them to provide those services. Same with English language learners. We include here Representative Herr's bill that over the several years will fully fund the deficit in English language learning services that are across the state. Example would be the Faribault Public Schools, where 26% of their students are English language learners. To try to narrow this down a little bit more precisely, Mr. Chair, on the tax implications.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks.
Exactly. There's a little bit of an interaction with the income tax education credit because we encourage schools who provide supplemental online learning programs to also encourage the families that qualify to claim the education tax credit. One of our significant investments is recognizing the crisis in early care and learning across the state and providing a structure of voluntary pre-kindergarten program for 2,200 more 4-year-olds across the state. In some communities, this will be the opportunity. It's done through a mixed delivery system, schools, Head Starts, and private providers, but it does add per pupil units to the funding formula for the school-based programs. We offset the levy impact of that by reducing, adjusting the operating capital levy. In addition, a $2 per pupil is added to the total operating capital revenue fund for menstrual products in schools for them to provide those to students who need them. We make an adjustment in the equalizing factor of long-term facilities maintenance, and that's done in a very targeted way. We know, Mr. Chair and Chair Youakim, you're making a significant commitment to equalizing school levies across the state. That's important. We appreciate that work. We do it a little bit differently so not to conflict. And then the Eastern Carver County School District needs to restructure. It's the fastest growing school district in the state. They need to restructure their transportation hub. There is no levy implication, however, on that. They believe they can do that entirely within existing revenues. Mr. Chair, that's a quick review of the tax implications. Of course, Mr. Strom is here for the hard questions.
Thank you very much, Chair Davnie. And so what Chair Davnie referred to, which are the tax provisions in House File 4300, are Article 1, Section 12, Article 1, Section 37, Article 7, Section 2, and Article 7, Section 4. Chair Davnie, in your committee, you had kind of a zero target for a levy. Is that correct?
That's correct. The Education Finance Committee always has an informal, I guess, zero levy target. And with the A5 amendment today, we in fact align with that target.
Very good. Thank you. And the amendment members, and I really appreciate Chair Davnie doing this. The amendment had to equalize some differences between the net tax capacity and kind of the referendum values. And so what you did was you increased the equalization factor on the second tier of the local option revenue. And I appreciate that because in the tax bill, what we did was raise the equalization level on the first tier of local option revenue. And I appreciate you not touching that area and moving into the second. So thank you so much. Members, well, first of all, is there anyone, we didn't have a list of any testifiers that I'm aware of, but is there anyone on the virtual meeting here that would like to testify on House File 4300 as amended? I don't see anyone. Is any members' questions or thoughts of either Chair Davnie or Mr. Strom? Chair Davnie, it's like that last class right before recess. It's folks are ready to go. So last thoughts, Chair Davnie, on your bill.
I think in the tax committee tradition, it's a good bill. Vote for it.
Very good. So members, I'm going to call for the roll call and the motion. Chair Joachim moved that House File 4300 be referred to the Ways and Means Committee. Ms. Griska, please take.
As amended, sir.
Thank you very much. As amended. 4300 as amended. Ms. Griska, please take the roll.
Representative Markort,
Markort, aye.
Representative Markort, aye. Representative Listlegard,
Listlegard, aye.
Representative Listlegard, aye. Representative Davids,
David's no.
Representative Davids, no. Representative Agbaje,
Agbaje, aye.
Representative Agbaje, aye. Representative Carlson,
Carlson, aye.
Representative Carlson, aye. Representative Detmer is excused. Representative Garofalo, Representative Gomez,
Gomez, aye.
Representative Gomez, aye. Representative Her,
Her, aye.
Representative Her, aye. Representative Hertas,
Hertas, no.
Representative Hertas, no. Representative Howard,
Howard, aye.
Representative Howard, aye. Representative McDonald,
Oh, sorry, McDonald, no.
Representative McDonald, no. Representative Miller,
Miller, no.
Representative Miller, no. Representative Moran, Representative Mortensen,
Mortensen, no.
Representative Mortensen, no. Representative Robbins,
No.
Representative Robbins, no. Representative Sandell,
Aye, yes.
Representative Sandell, aye. Representative Schultz,
Schultz, aye.
Representative Schultz, aye. Representative Stevenson,
Aye.
Representative Stevenson, aye. Representative Swazinski,
Swazinski, nay.
Representative Swazinski, no. Representative Joachim,
Joachim, aye.
Representative Joachim, aye. We have 11 ayes and 7 noes.
There being 11 ayes and 7 nays, House File 4300 as amended is referred to the Ways and Means Committee. Chair Davnie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members. I appreciate the support.
Thank you. So members, keep your email boxes open. There will, I'm sure, be meetings yet coming up. But until then, members, have a very wonderful Easter Passover break. And with that, members, we are adjourned.